Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of the Bearded Gamers podcast.
Hello.
I haven't introduced you yet. My name is DJ Jan, not so much for being a disc jockey, but more of a dungeon junkie. I'm joined by my partner in crime, my board gaming buddy, and my longtime friend, Brenton, the fabled Dark Prince of Brentonia. Or actually, he's quite lovely, so yeah.
I've got like 4 titles there.
You got a few. I just like Dark Prince.
Got a number of titles there. My name's Brenton, and I'm the co-host on this start of a new era, really, a first ever podcast.
Yeah, it's nerve-wracking actually, like quite nervous, but you know, we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, never know. This might never go out. This might be the first and last podcast of the Bearded Gamers, but hopefully we'll see how it goes.
At least our wives might listen to it.
We're on mums. Hi, mum.
Yeah. Hello.
So, Dan, what is this all about? Why are we starting this venture into podcasting?
Well, we're just going to talk about our love of board games, war games, miniature games. You know, we've been playing for a long time, so we thought, you know, let's just talk about it and jabber on about the things that we love, really.
Jabber Kubini.
not jabber as in that jabber, but yeah. Although he might pop up later in the podcast, actually. So. Yeah, with his chubby jowls. Anyway, so we just thought we'd sort of talk about things that we love, maybe do sort of board game reviews, talk about our little sort of gaming group that we have, because we have sort of ongoing campaigns, so it might be quite cool to talk about
that. So we're also going to talk about new games that we have, anything we've got off Kickstarter.
Yeah, I'm quite excited to talk about Kickstarter, actually.
So on our initial podcast, we're going to have a couple of things to talk about first. We're going to talk about Rumbleslam's Back Brawl, the new expansion that came out for that. For our main feature, we're going to do a little in-depth look at Imperial Assault.
Star Wars. Woohoo!
And kind of give our opinion on the game. And then we're going to have our little segment called Haven't Played It in Ages. And we're going to talk about
idea.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Marvel Legendary. We did a little Infinity War
inspired game. That was really cool.
Following the recent film that came out. I say recent.
That was rubbish. No, I loved it. I only got to see it once at the cinema though. I wanted to go and see it again, but never mind.
It would have been good because I want to go back and watch how Doctor Strange things he said, because I reckon there were some little clues in there.
There probably was
in going into the next film, but. Yeah, so we're going to talk about that as well.
And then little wrap up, probably have a little discussion about Kickstarter.
Yeah.
What we're sort of backing.
And then little outro.
Things are cool.
Little outro at the end.
Yeah, that sounds good. So we get into our sort of first sort of feature then?
Yeah.
Which is, you know, sort of what we've been playing, what we've been doing. Rumbleslam Back Brawl.
Yes. So this is a new expansion out. You actually got to test it.
I got it a little bit early because I was at the UK Games Expo, basically. So. Yeah, so we got to try it out. I thought I'd, put together all the bits and pieces, but yeah, it's pretty sweet.
I do like it. It adds a new dimension to the game because Rumbleslam. Just a brief overview for people.
Yeah.
Essentially it's two wrestling groups. And
it's like Blood Bowl, but fantasy wrestling, like WWE sort of thing. It's super cool, super fun, super quick.
Yeah,
that's why we love it anyway.
And so this expansion, what it does is it adds Back Brawl. So in the ring, you have cars, bikes, trash cans, boxes, barrels, things that you can kind of throw around at each other.
Yeah. Watch out for the car, because that shit will crush you.
Which just adds like a whole new dynamic. So rather than going up and just wailing on each other, your guy can pick up a trash can, just lob it at someone else's face and knock them over.
It's pretty cool. So I like the idea that it's taken it out of the ring to the car park, essentially, outside. Because it's quite well themed, even though it's fantasy. It's not like high fantasy, like Blood Bowl type stuff. It's actually like got modern day stuff. So there is cars, there's bikes.
Yes, yeah. And then
it's quite cool just to imagine like a skeleton wearing a mankini riding like this Harley Davidson type bike, which is entirely possible in this universe.
Because the model they released recently was a skeleton with a microphone. So it's
he's actually the commentator. He's the event exclusive.
Yeah.
His name's Mike, actually, I think. I could be wrong.
Holds the mic.
Yeah.
And, so the map they come out of it is actually a car park map, isn't it? So you're actually playing, like you said, in a car park.
We did... It comes actually with 3 different scenarios, but we sort of randomly generated one and sort of played a game just to sort of see how it works, because we weren't sure like how the new mechanics were gonna be thrown in there, and we came up with, you know, quite a fun game, but there was a few issues that we had with the rules, weren't there? So essentially it was like, in Back Alley Brawl as well, we should say that normally you throw people out of the ring to win. In this one, it's like to the death.
Yeah.
These guys are just, you know, they're out for blood, basically.
Yeah, and if you get thrown out, the crowd are merciless. It's a bit like ECW in like the early eras. If you just imagine that, like they are not happy when you're in the crowd.
Yeah. But they don't kill, they just sort of throw you back in the ring for everyone else to kill. So you have to do like a kind of like a TKO beatdown, as it's called in the rules, to take someone out. So it was good fun, but we found out that the quickest way to actually just take someone out was just to pick up a car and just lob it at them. That tends to kill people, apparently.
It's happened quite a bit, actually. That car moved around the pitch quite a lot with different people picking it up. You even the other thing you can do as well is like you can actually destroy the trash if you want, and Dan's little skinks there just sort of like try to attack.
So let's set the scene. So we had I was playing the Forest Soul, like lizard men, kind of guys, skinks, big giant kind of like dinosaur type guy, some sort of standard lizard dudes. We threw some superstars in the mix as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
So I had Great Jaw, who's like basically a great white were shark.
And on in my corner, I had the Twisted Shadows with Phage. They're quite a cool little combo. There's a lot of dirty little.
They're like kind of like dark elves, aren't they? They dance around and distract you with their womanly, lovely figures. Ooh. Although how they're distracting like these giant lizard dudes. I'm sure they just don't care. They're like, flaunt your stuff. I don't give a shit.
It's a bit like in fantasy back in the day, like the Dark Elder Knight that used to wear like alluring clothes. It's like, oh look, like I do not find you attractive whatsoever. I'm merely here for war, but I'm somehow distracted by you dancing around me.
That is an annoying rule that they have. I might also point out that your sort of big guy, because every team has a big guy, it's like a massive Medusa style, like Cobra Strike. I don't know, like it's huge. Like she can shoot friggin' lasers out of her eyes and shit. Yeah. Which was annoying. So it was to the death. We'd set up the trash, which is, you know, essentially all the bits in the middle, and sort of foolishly, I guess I put the car near me because I wanted to pick it up and throw it to you, but it takes up a large sort of portion of the map, and in the rules you can't actually move through your own guys or
through trash
or through the trash. So I'd kind of literally cornered myself in.
Yeah, because I suppose like by doing I went first, and one of the first things I did was essentially pin his guys in. So it's also activation, and one of my guys moved in and kind of pinned his shark in his face, and because
he literally did nothing.
Yeah. So because of the way that Rumbleslam works, because obviously, like Dan said, you can't move through your own guys, can't move through trash, and you have to set up in a line across
in your corner.
In a corner, it means that if he had the car in front of him and the trash can in front of him, and I was to the side, he couldn't go anywhere. So my guys could essentially wail on him.
Well, it didn't help that I had because you want your big guys to get into the action, so you kind of put them
on the edges.
Yeah, on the edges of your sort of deployment zone as much as you can, so you can try, because they're slow.
Yeah.
You need to get them there quicker. And I had two big guys who were essentially at the end of each of my deployment zones, and then the car in the middle. Yeah. So all my little guys who were stuck in the middle were kind of like, oh, I don't know what to do. You're too big. Get out of the way. Which didn't help, but we soon found out, like after playing with the rules, that the big guys can quite easily pick up the car.
Yeah. And I think that I think they managed to. There was one point when they hit each other with the car.
Yeah, both our big guys were. I think that was pretty cool. So I think the way it works is if you throw a piece of trash, which is quite easy to do, you have to make a dexterity check kind of thing to get out of the way. So obviously with your guys being kind of snake elf type people, they're pretty quick. Yeah. So a lot of the time, if I was throwing stuff, your guys were just like, I'll just ninja flip out of the way. However, if they're knocked down,
once my guys are hit, they are like paper mache. They just
once your stamina's gone, you ain't dodging anything.
No.
So if you just take flat, straight up damage if a car's thrown at you. Yeah. How much was it? It was 6 or 7, wasn't it? Or something?
6 damage, I think it was.
Yeah.
Strength
and in the rules, it's called coup de grace or coup de grace, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And like if you take a set amount of damage, your guy, you just out, he's dead.
Which is what's really great about the car, because when you got someone on the ground, they're, you know, like Dan said, they're dexterity, so they can't move. So they are essentially just taking the full weight of whatever they chuck on you. And there's something quite pleasurable about picking up a car with your big guy and just slamming it on your opponent.
I think at one point I tried to pick it up with one of my smaller guys.
Yeah,
and he was like, I can't do this. I was like, this is a game-changing moment, and my little skink dude. But no, it's literally impossible to pick up the
You
car
also
with
tried
this
to
guy.
like whale it and see if you could just like destroy it completely, but
Well, like a bit in Street Fighter when you're like
Yeah.
E-Honda and you got
I think all you managed to do
whack
is
the
just
car.
chip the paintwork. I mean, that's essentially what your skin did. Just like,
Well, in the rules, you can destroy the trash,
Yeah.
but I don't. It's not really essential to do that. It's more fun just to throw it at each other.
oh, definitely.
Yeah. So it ended up like towards the end of the game. I think it was really close.
Yeah.
It was really close. Once we'd worked out, that crushing people under a car was the way to go.
Definitely a fun way of doing it.
Became about trying to take out the other team's big guy, because as soon as that, one of us had lost our big guy, with our ability to pick up the car and lob it was
Yeah, I suppose
gone.
so a relatable term would be in chess, I suppose. If you've got the
Are you relating a ball game to chess?
I'm relating ball game to chess. Well, I'm just trying
To
to
be
think,
fair,
like,
chess is a
you
ball
know,
game, I guess.
Chess is a ball game, yeah.
The master of all strategies. I'm going to apply chess
it's like-
strategy to fantasy wrestling.
No, because like with chess, like if you've got the queen, if your opponent hasn't got a queen, you have dominance over the board. So it's the same way in Rumbleslam. Like if you've got the big guy, you kind of have like.
Yeah, I mean all the
Bit
big
more
guys have got different rules. I guess that's pretty. I mean they can do a lot of damage, but once they're activated, they're then kind of sort of sitting ducks. Whereas if you have there are some really good big guys who can do stuff out of their turn. Like there's a great one, like the Treeman for the other Forest Soul team. He can be used as a turnbuckle, so even when he's not doing anything,
he's still useful.
He's still useful. All the other guys can just climb up his trunk and sort of flip all over the place and do turnbuckle
We
moves.
should redo a review of Rumbleslam again, because Rumbleslam is actually like.
It is one of my favourites at the moment, and I'm sort of heavily into the painting side of it as well. The models are really nice. So,
Yeah. And it's only been out like just over a year, hasn't it been? Or 2
something
years?
like that. But yeah, at the UK Games Expo, I managed to speak to the designer, and he told me that there's a lot of cool stuff coming up in the future. So it's a really exciting time to get into the game. So it's a nice kind of entry level one as well, I think, because it's quite cheap. You can get the starter set's £40, and you get everything you need to get yourself going, and then you can expand however you like, create superstar teams, and do whatever you want.
Yeah, so like because in the starter set you get the board, you get the dice, you get 2 teams, so
All the counters and everything.
all the counters, yeah. So you're away. I mean, you can sort of expand from that.
Yeah, I mean, Back Alley Brawl, I think is a good expansion. I mean, the terrain. I mean, because essentially it's terrain for the game. The car you've got. There's a bike, trash cans, tires. What I really like though is the themed kind of stuff. So when you're playing it, you actually get like sponsorships. So if your team's all from the same casino, so you've got like Orca Cola, like Phoenix Fizz. They're like really cool, like fantasy themed. Like drinks or stuff that you'd get in a wrestling ring. So they've actually done that and put those into the game on the terrain, which is quite smart. So there's like Orca Cola barrels and things like that. This is really thematic, and I just love it. So if you're looking to get into a game, Rumbleslam is sort of quick and easy, and the first expansion, Back Alley Brawl, adds a whole new layer of dimension to it. So that was Back Alley Brawl, Rumbleslam.
Very good game.
Awesome. So on to our sort of next segment, we are going to do a sort of breakdown of one of my favourite games of all time, I think.
It's a really, really good game, gotta say that.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Star Wars Imperial Assault. Right. So Imperial Assault. So I got this quite a while ago. It's been out for ages now, guys. If you didn't know, but I've got all the expansions.
Loads of expansions.
There's loads of stuff for it, but I mean, we're going to talk about the base sort of game to start off with. So it's a kind of like a quest dungeon crawler type game, but set in the Star Wars universe. If anyone's ever played Descent, it's like essentially the same as that, but with the sort of Star Wars slapped on. But they've refined a sort of few of the mechanics of it. So you can play it as a campaign, which is the sort of the way that we've played it the most. what we really enjoy, because I love story in games. So that it got me into it.
The stories are pretty good because they've even though it's based in Star Wars, they've kind of done things which I wish they'd do in the film, which they stepped away from.
Different stuff.
Like, it's not just about Luke and the Skywalker family. There's other stuff you can do in this universe.
Well, you create your own band of awesome rebels. So the campaign's it's well structured. You go out on missions. You're working for like the rebel high command. They send you out to do all sorts of sort of different stuff set in the Star Wars universe. You can get XP, level up, buy new weapons. It's really, really cool. It's good fun. So that's one way of playing the game. The other way is the skirmish.
Yeah, so the skirmish essentially takes the models that you play in the campaign and play against them with, and you can build your own little units. So you're looking at like they work at 40 points. You're looking at like 8 to 15 models a side, and you pick a faction. So you've got the rebels, you've got the awesome imperial side if you want to.
My favourite, Scum.
Yeah. Or you've got what is it? The bounty hunters and
they're the scum and villainy. They're
scum
called.
And villainy. So there's sort of 3 factions, and you pick your army based on them. You can kind of do whatever you want. There's no structure. So like in other games, like they say you've got to have a leader, you've got to have a core unit. So you don't have to do any of that. You could just say have the Emperor, Darth Vader, and
Royal Guard, which is like what I did the other day.
Yeah, and then you could be fighting like an army of droids, sort of thing. Like there's
it's really cool. Or Jawas.
Jawas, yeah, it's like Jawas are annoying. They are.
It's very free.
Yeah, so you pick them, and then you pick some command cards, and your command cards are cards that you can play in the game to add certain like tactical advantages to yourself, or maybe
different effects.
Or add some like redeployments or bonuses to your cards. They're not like
extra damage.
Yeah.
They're all themed as well, though. They're like surprise attack, where you've got like spy themed ones and guardians,
and you can really kind of tailor it to your to the guys that you play. So if you've got what was it, brawlers, isn't it, or even like people who defend people, you can have cards.
Yeah, they're the guardian ones.
The guardian ones, the guardian ones. So you can actually like sort of theme it to your.
It's really good fun, and we should point out it's scenario based as well. So it's kind of like a smaller, compact version of like an army, war game, but in this little sort of skirmish format with cool little forces of Star Wars figures.
Yeah, and there's hundreds of different scenarios. We've played ones where
there's so many.
Yeah, you have to capture like certain locations. So you're not just putting down your guys and then you're sort of battling it out. Like,
not to the death.
Not to the death. They are like sort of secure certain locations. Which is kind of cool because it doesn't.
And you can fight on so many different planets as well,
which adds a certain amount of balance to it because you don't like. It's not a case of that you can just pick up an army and go like, right, I've got the Emperor, I've got Darth Vader, I've got my Royal Guard. These are the best guys in this faction. You can like. They
wouldn't be that great at doing the scenario objectives. Or securing objectives maybe. So it is well balanced. Yeah, it's a great fun game to play, and we play that sort of together, just the two of us. But our gaming group play the sort of campaign story.
Yes.
And we're actually in the middle of a campaign at the moment. This is where Jabba pops up again.
Oh, Jabba. Mind you, I played Jabba in the skirmish, and he's annoying.
You played against me. I played Jabba. Jabba is awesome.
He was annoying.
He just sits at the back, just barking orders at people, like not doing any, just slugging around, not doing much. But yeah, he's pretty good.
He's basically Jabba in the films, annoying as anything.
Well, of course he is. They're going to theme it to help to what his character's like. So yeah, they're the two sort of main ways. Oh, we should also point out as well that it's not played on like a traditional mat or board. Like you don't need terrain and stuff for this. It's played on a really cool interlocking sort of puzzle board section system. So it's really like quite nice and contained.
Yeah, I suppose it's like a dungeon crawler-esque, but a bit more not as
just like Descent, but like themed style. So there's like Tatooine, Endor type ones, Imperial bunkers, all sorts. Yeah, you can do so much with this game. So let's break down the sort of game a bit and sort of talk about sort of different things. So component wise, obviously it uses miniatures and it is Fantasy Flight games. So
the miniatures quality is
it's really, top notch. Like I mean, not just the miniatures, but like all the cards. There's tokens. There's so much stuff to this game. Like, I mean, the box is hefty.
And miniatures, because I've never put miniatures together. I assume are they one-piece miniatures? Are they
a lot? No, they're all one-piece minis.
All one-piece minis. So they're quite good for introductory sort of like if
I mean, you don't
if
have to
start
paint them, but like I've taken a lot of effort to paint my entire collection because I think
Yeah.
it looks awesome, you know,
They
on
do
the
look
battlefield,
pretty good.
on on the boards when it's all done.
Darn good.
And I decided to go with sort of a clear base system, so I cut them off so you can see all the awesome detail of the boards and the map tiles.
And do they come
through.
with the colour bases?
No, I had to get those extra. So
okay.
that's just something that I've done. But yeah, I mean, the models are really nice, and you've got all of the classic heroes as well as these new rebel characters that you can, you know, take control of. So, and they've themed it really, really well. So, like,
They've really dug into the lore as well, because there's characters in there which are just like minor characters in the film, or even characters that you probably wouldn't really
yeah.
know.
Also, like the characters you can play as are like, there's lots of cool of different alien races that you can be. Like that character you're playing at the moment, he's an Aquilish.
It's like a giant walrus.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose in the films, like if you think back to A New Hope, when they're in the bar scene, he's
The guy with like the pink jowls,
Yeah.
and I think it's Dr. Everson or whatever. He goes, "He doesn't like you."
He's the one talking at Luke Skywalker.
I don't like you either.
He doesn't understand what he's saying. I'm basically playing him.
He gets his hand cut off, his arm cut off by Obi-Wan in the bar. That's an Aquilish.
Yeah.
That's what your character is at the moment. But your version of him is just this hench, like, massive bounty hunting bodyguard type guy.
Imagine like that guy in the bar, but on steroids. That is what my guy is, and he's
Combine that guy with Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and then that's what you've got in your character at the moment. He just throws himself around, knocking dudes out of the way. He's there to protect the other guys, but yeah, but that's what I like about the different characters.
I'm actually noticing campaign. My guy is a bodyguard. I don't spend a lot of time with the other people though.
No, you just run off, shoulder barging people.
And like as far as a bodyguard, imagine like your bodyguard just like, I will defend you by running as far away from you as possible and beating up the enemies before they get to you. That is my bodyguard's.
I guess that actually kind of works.
It does work as a bodyguard. Like, if your bodyguard, you just never saw him, but you never got attacked. I'm doing a great job.
So yeah, the models are awesome. They're all themed. The cards are all top notch. I don't know. You can't really go wrong with it, to be honest.
No.
The artwork is insane.
Yes. And
I don't know if they draw a lot from like the expanded sort of universe kind of art, or whether it's sort of new original art. But
they must do. To a certain extent, they must do.
There's so much to it, and there's so much different stuff.
Well, the thing with Star Wars is such a great playground, isn't it? To like design things around. There's been so many people have done things for Star Wars that you can come.
Well, that brings us on to theme then, really, doesn't it? Like obviously Star Wars, the theme of this. I mean, that's what drew me to it the most.
Do we need to explain Star Wars?
No, I don't need to explain Star Wars. Everyone knows who Star Wars is. No one doesn't know this. Even if you don't like Star Wars, you know what Star Wars is.
I still find it amazing when you say Star Wars, people go, what? You just feel like, what?
No, I tend to punch those people.
What's
Who is it who hasn't seen them all? It's one of our mates' new girlfriends or wives or someone who never seen a single Star Wars movie. We need to sort that out.
But then again, Lance doesn't watch Marvel, and then I find
I'm sorting that out. He's gonna watch them all. I'm lending in the DVDs. Anyway, we're getting off topic here. We're talking about Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I mean, there's so many people out there who love it. It links you back to your childhood, and I love models. I love model making, miniature painting. So when they combined the two together, it was like a dream come true for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm sold immediately on this game. When it first came out, I knew I wanted it. Yeah. I knew I wanted to paint 10 million stormtroopers. Seems like that. And now, of course, they've brought Star Wars Legion out, so I've got to paint a whole lot again at a different scale. But that's another discussion. But no, I love Star Wars, and this oozes Star Wars theme, which is why I like it so much. What do you think?
No, I love Imperial Assault. It's really good. Also, it's good for smaller games because traditionally I come from like a wargame background, so you're looking at like masses of armies. In order to play a game, you're looking at spending like half your day. With Imperial Assault, like you can play a game like
half your lifetime funds.
Yeah. With Imperial Assault, like it's a game you can play in like half hour to an hour. Especially when you sort of really get into the game, really know how the game works.
We've done it like a couple of times where you just sort of come over for a games day, and we've sort of like, let's do a skirmish, and we just. That's what I quite like about the skirmish side of it, is you can, with regards to the sort of theme of Star Wars, you can easily put together, like you say, that themed army. So what army did you do last time we
I done
played?
what did I do? I done Scum, didn't I?
No, I was playing Scum. I was playing as Jabba. You did a Stormtrooper themed army, I think.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
You were like, how many Stormtroopers can I
many
throw at Jabba, basically? Yeah. Oh no, that was the story. It was set on the Coruscant streets. I remember now.
Yeah.
It was you would like literally sent in Stormtrooper legions and riot troopers to somehow try and capture Jabba.
Yeah, that was my aim. So basically, I'd kind of predetermined in my back of my mind what
that was the story in our heads.
Because Dan had chosen Jabba. I was just like, right, well, let's bring Jabba in for questioning. We're going to send in some people.
How? I don't know. These riot troopers, they were like, I don't think they were told who Jabba was. So they rocked up at this back alley brawl in Coruscant.
See, I'm in my mind.
And then they were like, that guy's fucking huge. How are we going to carry him?
I imagine, like, in my mind, like, do you remember Starship Troopers, like, at the end of the first one when they had that giant brain?
Oh, the brain bug, yeah.
Like, imagine me and my Imperial guys are basically, like, dragging Jabba by the tail, just like, come here, Jabba. Yeah. We're dragging you in.
But that never happened. You didn't get that far. Literally, no. Jabba had hired every thug under the sun.
Because Jabba's at the back of... he doesn't move very fast. He moves, what, like...
I think he's got a speed of 2, so he, like, moves 2 squares.
So, like...
And he's on a fat base anyway, so he doesn't move that far.
Even if he runs at his fastest speed...
What do you mean run? He's a slug!
Just sort of like...
He doesn't run.
Just runs like just like his fast... Yeah, he's going to move 4 squares a turn, and your average guy moves 4 turns. So
yeah, but you never commit him to an objective or anything. He just sits at the back, just barking orders at people.
Yeah.
But that's why that game was fun. But that's what we like the theme, because you can just set up your own little Star Wars scenario, or sort of little story in set wherever in pretty much any Star Wars planet you want. You can make any sort of army you want. I mean, the other game that we played recently was I was like, I want to do the Emperor, the Royal and his Royal Guards, and just have them just rocking up at it was actually the Sarlacc pit we were playing on. It was like capture and objectives on this map, and I had the Emperor, a bunch of Royal Guard, and the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah.
And you were using like rebels.
I was using rebels.
Oh no, you had like an army of Wookiees.
Yeah. Well, they were the rebels, but the Wookiee, the sort of.
You literally just throw in Wookiees at the Emperor, like, run Wookiees, take him out, and he was like, no.
That's why I went for the theme
barbecued
of, like,
Wookiee.
That's why I went for the theme of Brawlers. So like this is where I was saying earlier about your command cards. Like you can have certain command cards which give benefits to your guys, but obviously if you really hunker down on a certain sort of like subgroup within your faction, so I went for Brawlers. A lot of my cards were Brawler themed, so it meant that all my entire guys could benefit from doing that.
Yeah, no, that's true. So I think a lot of my guys had Guardian because they were like Royal Guard. So, but I sort of went with the kind of powerhouse cards, I think, which were just allowed me to like shoot force lightning across the battlefield and stuff. But that's why the theme's cool, because you can apply theme to different aspects of the game.
Yeah, I think one of the other things I like about Imperial Assault is that again, like I'm gonna refer back to the things like Games Workshop. Like with Games Workshop, you buy your army and you buy this book, which you have to scour through. I mean, I know that recent updates have introduced cards, but Imperial Assault, all your rules for your guy is on one card, one playing card. So like it's very easy if you're trying to explain to someone how to play a game. You go, this is you hand them a really cool looking miniature, and you go, this is the card that and everything on that card is explained, like how far they move, and
it's very simple.
Their weapons, it sort of says like if it's a ranged weapon, it has a gun on it. If it's a melee weapon, it has a blade on it, and it says you roll these colour dice. And you roll the dice.
Well, that's a good time to talk about the mechanics of it. Then the way the dice actually work in this. So obviously, a lot of people when they play war games or miniatures games, nearly all of them use D6, don't they? Or 6-sided dice of some description, which is pretty much what these use. But rather than having 1 to 6, you've got various colours of dice.
Yeah.
With either, so you've got defending dice which got like block symbols and evasion symbols, and then you've got attacking dice which got damage, what they call surges, and range.
Yeah. So
everything's on the dice. You're not measuring ranges on stuff, which is quite cool.
Each colour dice has like a benefit to it. So if we go back to the defence dice, your black dice is for very high defences. So it's a lot of like It has very high blocking, and it has a lot of surges.
Then you get the ninja style kind of Jedis who roll a white defense dice, who has less block on it, but has more evades, and it has the dreaded X-Man symbol. I don't know why it's like like the X-Men logo is exactly what it's printed on, and that means you just dodge the attack completely. Nothing gets through. You've barrel rolled out the way, used sort of mind trick to.
That is very annoying
flip.
when you have an Imperial officer and you go up there, you're Hulk and Wookiee, and just like, I'm going to smash you in the face, and then this guy
and then he just no
news out of the way, just dodges. Just
probably because he's so small. Like, I imagine a lot of the Imperial officers are quite short.
I can imagine like it's very weird.
The Wookiee just goes woof, and just like twats above his head. But yeah, no, the mechanics are great, like, and so your range is built into the dice as well. So if you're doing like attacking, you've got blue, green, and yellow for attacking dice, and you've got like blue, which is kind of got more range on it, some damage, some surges, the surges you can spend to do like extra abilities. Yellow is your surge dice, so it has a lot. So a lot more of the dice results are aimed towards getting your surges. To then spend on other things.
Yeah. Your red dice is aimed at damage, so it has a lot of high damage.
So a lot of your Wookiees were rolling a lot of red dice.
Yeah.
So they had to get up close because they don't have no range.
And my character in the campaign rolls a lot of red dice.
He does.
So they do a lot of damage. But then your the green dice is just an all-rounder. So that has everything on it. It's kind of like good for just everything, really.
Yeah. I like the way it works. I mean, it's quite a simple system. Yeah. And there's a series of like keywords as well, which like do extra different sort of things. Like you got like you can do cleaving attacks and
so I suppose like
piercing attacks, that kind of thing.
So I suppose like to go through like a rough like how like your combat works. So you choose your model you want to do an activation with, and so you've got ranged weapon. You then look at the weapon, and it says like say roll one blue dice, one green dice.
Yep.
You roll your dice, and it will come up with
a number. How many squares
so that's how many squares you can shoot, and you can only shoot things that you can kind of see.
Yeah.
Models block line of sight. And then you'll have your damage results on there, and then your surges, which is they're like circles, but imagine like a line and drawn for a circle. That's just.
No, the surges are like little lightning bolts.
Lightning bolt? Oh, of course. Sorry, I'm thinking about
something else.
Something else completely. There. Sorry, it's a surges. So like as Dan said, they're lightning
Spend
bolts.
them how you like. A lot of them do sort of extra damage or piercing
or abilities, and it's very simple. Like you imagine, like you're starting out, it's everything's sort of there. Like you look at the card and you can look at the different upgrades you can do.
I don't think there's anything overly complicated about the mechanics of the thing. And
then the person looks at their defense, so they either roll one black or one white. They roll that and take away.
There are some annoying characters who roll like Vader rolls 2 black.
Yeah,
because he's a boss, and he's wearing like massive suit of armor. You're not getting through that easily unless you've got yourself a lightsaber, which nearly all the lightsabers have like a pierce 3, so they just cut through armor, which is cool.
So it's very sort of simple mechanics, and that makes it really cool as well.
The skirmish is like alternate activation, so it's quite simple. Which 2 actions, move, attack.
Which also means as well that like you haven't got this long periods of times where your opponent's doing stuff and you can go off and have like a full 3/4
I much prefer that now in games, the alternate activation thing. Because like, you think back to sort of games of like Warhammer Fantasy that we had years ago where it just takes ages to do a turn.
You would do your turn and then you go, right, well, I'm going to go off. I'll see you in half an hour. Let me know what happens.
Oh, it's my turn to roll dice. I like the mechanics of it. It works solidly. And with the campaign, again, it's still alternate activations, but there's one person who plays as the Imperial. So we're playing, a group of 5. So there's me as the Imperial player controlling all of the sort of myriad of troops, as well as telling the story, that kind of thing. And then your guys, and we alternate between.
Master, then, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's maybe a downside. Like, depends if you like DM-less games or you're happy to DM. I don't mind. I quite like doing it. So, and now rather than it just being like you telling the story, like in D&D, I guess. Now in this, you're actually properly engaging and everything with the troops.
Quite good though about because in DM games like you essentially you don't get to upgrade anything. You stay at one level. You just play the monsters and scenario. But like in Imperial Assault in the campaign, you get to upgrade. You get to
you got between
a certain amount of like
It goes back to our love of Warhammer Quest, really, doesn't it? Like those bits between missions are actually quite good fun. You go to the town, or in this case, you're going back to the rebel base.
Yeah.
Like, what's the armory got? Have they got any new upgrades? And things like that.
But also, like, the person who's playing as the Imperials, they also get a chance to upgrade their stuff as well and buy gear. So, like, when you're the DM, like, and you play through a scenario,
that's true.
You can play the scenario differently because you can then go, well, I want to have this upgrade. I want to bring on.
And I played some annoying cards.
Some well annoying cards. That more so one from the first campaign.
Oh, that is the first campaign that we did. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, literally, I had like a mortar off the map. Basically, they would just like fire shells into the middle of the mission, which annoyed the crap out of them, but was hilariously fun for me, of course. So, yeah. So, what about presentation? The look of the game.
Well, the models, like I said, this fantasy fight, they seem to never make
everything
a
is
step.
top notch.
The cards are amazing, are really good quality as well. The board is a really nice, thick, cardboardy.
Yeah.
They're not very.
I mean, we've been playing it for ages, and we haven't suffered. There's been no damage really or anything like that. Just the way it looks is great. So Google it, check it out online. It's a really good fun game. What about replayability?
Well, the fact that we're on our second campaign and we haven't even. How many campaigns have you?
There's the main story in the main game, which you get as sort of standard, but then they brought out tons of expansions, and we'll talk about price in a minute.
Yeah.
Because I've plugged a lot of money into it. But there's Hoth, there's Tatooine, Bespin, the standard kind of famous planets, Coruscant. There's campaigns based around that and some of their characters. So we're in the middle of Jabba's realm, set on Tatooine. You're working for Jabba, this is the second full campaign. The missions don't seem similar. Like they're always different. There's new story, and you play completely different characters as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot of thought gone into the story as a whole as well, and how you could possibly even link it to the films if you so wish to. And like you said, there's so many different characters. You can play a campaign and just change out the character you have.
Your character you're playing now is completely different to the one you played in the last campaign.
I love my first character.
Mern Rin, I think her name was.
Amazing. He was.
It's a woman. Was
so
established as
underrated at the start. Like even I was a bit like this.
No, in the first few games she was rubbish. But then she could start. I don't know how she got like influence. She could basically order my troops around.
Yeah, so as a
I'd be like, you shoot him. I'd be like, what? Why?
As a basic ability, like Dan said, I can control the enemy and do certain things to them, which at the start was like okay, but as my character like got better and better, the setting up games I could buy her. That just made her just like awesome. Also on top of that, I managed to get a hand cannon. So if I did get anyone real close, I'd blow them away.
Yeah, that was a good item to get. So price wise, so just sort of discuss that a little bit. So it's me who's made the investment into this game. I bought the original one. I've been painting up all the models. I've bought every expansion just because I was hooked from the start, and I wanted to have all of the options. So
what's the base game price then?
The base game is sort of like £70 to £90, depending on sort of where you get it from.
So,
but you do get a ton of stuff in that, and you can play straight from that. But they then bring out sort of big expansions, which are like have the extra campaigns and the stories in. So the Jabba's Realm one was one of them, which normally comes with extra map tiles, extra cards, items, and extra models. And then they do model expansions as well.
Yeah.
So, for example, you've got like the Han Solo expansion pack. Gives you a Han Solo model, gives you cards for him.
Yeah.
And might also add that every expansion comes with 2 new scenarios for the skirmish mode.
Okay, yeah.
So by the time now that we've got to, I don't know how many expansions there are, but scenario, I mean, the wodge of cards of scenarios is like so fat. Like, we haven't even sort of scratched the surface on that. And of course, you can play competitively, like tournament wise and stuff like that. We just play casual, and do like stupid themed stuff. But there's lots of ways to play it. But like I say, I don't know how much money I've plugged into it, to be honest.
Well, that's the thing. With a base game, what £70, and you get like a good amount of scenarios. You get
the whole campaign featuring like Vader.
Yeah,
essentially, this is that first campaign that you played. So you get a lot.
And you get
it's definitely worth the money.
Yeah, definitely. I would say definitely.
But yeah, I've just pumped a lot more money into it. It's like when they tell you don't look at how much your mortgage is going to be overall. It's the same like any of us war gamers who spend money on war games and models and stuff.
But that's no different
Don't add
from
that
like
shit
other hobbies. I mean, like you compare it, I don't know, golf. Like if you've
Oh, yeah,
known
I'm
people
sure
who
those-
play golf,
Those
like,
sticks.
you yeah,
Well
like,
expensive.
to me. Like I don't know, like it's not worth the money. But like hobbies, like you can spend a lot of money on a hobby. But that's what you enjoy doing.
Yeah, and we love it. So,
Comparable to other games, I think £70 buying is not a bad price.
yeah, it's a good quality game. And FSG, like I say, they're Final Fantasy? No, not Fantasy Flight. There should be a games company called Final Fantasy who do like cool games.
Wonder if Final Fantasy just accept the fact that it's not the Final Fantasy.
No, there's been what are they on, like 20 now?
20.
It's not the final one, is it?
It's like Mission Impossible. At some point, you just go like Tom Cruise, mate. No offense, right? But
Yeah.
it's completely possible.
Yeah,
What
you do it every time.
Every time.
They should really change the title.
So when he comes in and goes like, "Hey guys, I've got Mission Impossible," I was like, "Have we done it?"
No, rubbish. So what do we think then? Overall rating for this game? What are we giving it?
Well, what is our rating system? Are we going to go with
I
standard?
don't know. I think so. If a Tusken Raider gaffy stick is mega shit, then
And the Death Star is the best.
and the
weapon.
Death Star is like just phenomenally amazing. Then what is Imperial Assault? I don't know. I'd have to say like it's Virgin on Super Star Destroyer for me, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely got to say it. Or even like a weakened Death Star. You imagine like in Return of the Jedi when they're rebuilding it.
The second Death Star.
Second Death
That's
Star.
You're saying that's like it's like almost perfect.
I'd say so, yeah. Well, because I just love, like, okay, I think one of the main things I love about the game, I know it sounds so silly, is the dice. Like,
It's very different.
yeah, like, I love rolling dice. I've always liked rolling dice, even from, like, your first games on Monopoly. I mean, like, it's like a standard 6-sided dice. There's something about rolling a dice that has different symbols on it. I know.
So that's what you're taking away from this game. Like,
I love the dice.
I just love rolling dice.
I just love the dice.
That is the best thing. That's what's made this second Death Star. No, a weakened Death Star is the fact that you get to roll
No, if
dice.
it didn't have dice, it would just be, I don't know.
No, we think it's great.
Yeah, it's
Go
great.
and check it out. It is an awesome game. Yeah, have some fun with it.
Yeah.
So, right. So next segment. So we're gonna do.
Haven't played it in ages.
Haven't played it in ages.
Well, we play a game that we haven't played in ages. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I mean that is it's
Total
the
gives it
title
away.
of it. Yeah. So this was kind of my kind of sort of suggestion. So we both got this game because we
Yeah.
love it. But
Well, I got it because I went round our house one time and we played it. This is when
and then you bought it after
and I
that.
bought it after that.
Yeah. And then, again, this is another
Like-
game with like a ton of expansions.
Yeah.
But yeah, Marvel Legendary. If you haven't heard of it.
Marvel, isn't it?
Deck building game where you can again you've got so much theme in this. Set up the story however you want. You're basically just playing cooperatively against an evil mastermind.
Well, it's cooperatively, but also there is a certain amount of there is a winner
Yeah.
as well. You're all working together. You're
Who
all,
defeats the bad guy the bestest?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So like so it's like Dan said, it's a deck building game. You set it up so you can choose your heroes. Obviously pulling from the Marvel universe, and
And there's tons.
there's tons. Like with the base game, I think comes with Black Widow, Thor, Hulk, Iron Man.
There's like
Hawkeye.
20, 30 or so, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah.
So we've got a
So
lot
name
of the
a few.
expansions. So what we thought we'd do, I mean, this was sort of fresh off seeing Infinity War.
Mm.
So we were like, and we were playing with, it was me, Brent, and our other halves.
Yeah.
Um,
better halves.
Better halves, yeah. They're never going to listen to this. And we thought we'd sort of mix up the rules a little bit, because normally you're supposed to pick 5 heroes and then go up against the mastermind and the story. Okay, so we knew the mastermind and the story was going to be Thanos. We got to defeat Thanos.
Yep.
The story is he's trying to get all of the Infinity Gems.
Which is actually an expansion.
Yeah, there is an expansion themed around that.
Yeah.
So then we were like, well, we don't want to just restrict ourselves to 5 heroes. So we were like, well, let's pick all of the heroes from Infinity War.
Well, that's all the heroes that we could find that we had expansions for. So
There wasn't many we were missing, though.
I think the only one I can remember is Doctor Strange didn't have Doctor Strange in it. That's the only one I can remember off the top of my head that we didn't have.
I do
We
actually
had-
have the expansion with him in. I think we were playing with your set, so
yeah. So I
we
didn't
just
have
didn't
him.
have to have him.
I think, but we had pretty much everyone else.
And if you've seen the film, he's probably sort of key to the
Yeah,
defeat
yeah,
of Thanos. But, spoiler alert, we did actually defeat him. It wasn't like in the movie when everyone died.
Well, maybe that's what they should have done in the film. If they just said, like, when Doctor Strange said, "Hey, I'll turn off," go, "Don't worry about it, mate.
Yeah, it's all
Be
sorted.
fine."
I've seen the future.
I know
what's gonna
you
happen.
said, like, there's, like, what is it, 4 million, didn't you say?
I think maybe it's 14 million.
14 million? Maybe if he can't have said
How long did that actually take? That's what I want
for him
to see all of those.
Yeah, because, like, everyone just stood around going, like, it's been, like, fucking...
Surely he would have been knackered. Like, 14 million. Anyway, so we picked all of the heroes. So the stack of cards was ridiculous. So you have like a HQ. So you start off with only agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and you can recruit or attack villains. So we had Thanos, the Infinity Gems, a ton of other Marvel villains who were going to rampage through the cities of Earth.
Yeah.
And we had to defeat Thanos 4 times, but he's got a ridiculous amount of health.
I think he's got something near
25 maybe or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. But the more Infinity Gems you can occur as a team, his health goes down.
Yep.
So we had that as an option. So when you play, when you're sort of buying cards from the HQ, you can sort of theme your deck. So
so
you sort of went heavy Guardians, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, because Guardians are the ones that really benefit from the gems. So as you pick up cards, obviously you've only got I think there's 5 city tiles or 6 city tiles. So you've only got to pick from those things, but you can like design your decks. You can go very heavy, heavy green. You can go very heavy. If you can knuckle down on one certain character, you can have some pretty cool combos.
Well, that's what the game is all about, is the combos. So I went really heavy towards Captain America, Black Widow, and they were comboing up quite well. Because I think Captain America was really good at rescuing like innocent bystanders, and Black Widow like benefits from the amount of bystanders or sort of people you've rescued. Yeah. So her combos were sort of stacking quite high up.
Yeah. Whereas I sort of knocked down on like Drax and his
Drax the Destroyer,
and also Star-Lord, which despite even though in the film he was a complete wuss.
He got a lot of shit for that. I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if I would have done the same thing.
I understand it. Like he's just lost in his eyes. He's lost the love of his life.
Yeah.
So, but you kind of feel like, why did you do what you did?
It happens. Shit happens. Basically.
But in the game, like them two are quite good at comboing together with the because as you defeat Infinity Gems, you actually recruit them to your side, and they give you additional benefits as well. And them two hyping those benefits allows you to even
So I think at that point you'd got the combo working. I think you had a Drax card which like doubled your attack power as well. So combined with Shab, my wife, had one of the or 2 of the Infinity Stones. Yeah. So she had concentrated on that and brought down Thanos' health.
Yeah.
But I think there is a time limit. You've only got a certain amount of time to defeat him, and we were down to the wire. Yeah. Like if we were going to defeat him or not, and we were like, we've got to work out this combo. So we can do this.
The time limit is sort of based on so as the enemies fly through the city. Once you've run out of enemies, the bad guys win.
Yeah.
So you've got to so there's benefit in killing enemies, but obviously the more enemies you kill, the quicker they're going to go for the city.
Yeah, but you either attack the enemies in the city or you sort of power up and try and attack Thanos, and you have to defeat him 4 times before you can actually win the game.
Yeah.
At this point, we got to that point where like the villain deck's about to run out. Yeah. We have to do it this turn.
Yeah. Or
it's game over.
Yeah.
And it came. I think it was your turn.
Yeah, my
came
turn.
Down to you.
I had a pretty sick combo.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, that was, I've been building up for like a little
while. The cards
while.
just worked out sort of perfectly.
This is what Drax and Star-Lord are really good at. They have cards that you can, so every turn you redraw a fresh hand, you add to your hand, but they had cards that you can put down and add tokens to, which...
So you had like lingering effects, just one turn to the next.
Yeah.
So that really benefited.
Which then really benefits because you just add so much to it.
Yeah. So awesome game. So that was... haven't played it in ages. Next week we'll talk about something else. We haven't played Rum and Bones in a while.
No.
So we thought we'd get that out again.
Yeah.
So next week we'll talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to it actually.
Awesome. So we're coming up to the end of the show, Brent.
It is.
Yeah, nearly an hour long. It's pretty cool.
It's been pretty good actually.
We've been rambling a bit, I know.
Had a bit of technical problems, so I think it's like,
But it's been good fun.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it as well. We'll just have a quick Kickstarter chat. So, backed anything? saw anything cool?
Well,
had anything delivered?
No, I haven't.
Kickstarter's quite cool for board games, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. There's lots of really cool ideas you can see in that. So, the one I've backed actually is a game called Nemesis.
So this is like the Alien themed game.
It's Alien. It is basically Alien.
Yeah.
Like.
Or more like Aliens with the Queen and.
Well, yeah, I suppose so.
More than one alien.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a really cool looking game actually, because you backed on Kickstarter. One of the benefit of Kickstarter actually is that you get the game, but you also get a lot of games come with a lot of stretch goals, so you actually save money by going into them at Kickstarter stage.
That's why I had the bonus with Rum and Bones.
Yeah,
because back that whenever it was ages ago, the first time round, got absolute ton of extra stuff. So I assume you're going to get all sorts of different aliens for this. So is it like a dungeon crawling style game?
But it's like a horror based game. So like it's less on your ability to actually. So you're not gonna build up your guy and be able to go up against the Queen and destroy her in one hit. Yeah. Like like your guy is all about survival. So like you want to do less combat and more searching.
So is it co-op based?
Yes.
Or?
Well, it's.
So I haven't really seen it that much.
It is a co-op, but you have
sort of semi-co-op. Is it not like the Aliens Legendary game where someone could be a dick and turn around and be like, I'm going to steal the embryos and the eggs for this corporation or whatever. Yeah. So you have a hidden objective. So your objective could be to get someone affected and ensure that they survive through to getting back to Earth. You could have. That's quite cool. You could just want to survive, sort of thing. There's a number of different things you Models
can do.
Look cool.
Models are really, really sweet. So in the base game, you get 5 guys, and then there's an additional one on top of that, which they've introduced to the game. And then there's additional characters released for another campaign they've released as part of the campaign as well. And the models for the aliens look ridiculously sweet. So it's kind of like Aliens, but slightly different. Yeah, yeah. Sounds good. So I actually got an email as we were recording this to say that that a Kickstarter actually is going to be delivered today. Yeah, which is cool. So I'm actually going to go pick it up in a minute. And that was from Mantic Games. They did a terrain crate, which is essentially loads of dungeon terrain. Yeah. So my thing was going to use it for Warhammer Quest, because that's a game that we all love, that we used to play a lot back in the day. And we're going to start a new campaign at some point soon. But this had like tons and tons of just dungeon themed terrain. You had like a wizard study with bookcases and stuff. You had like, the Indiana Jones style boulder coming down. Oh, that's pretty cool. Like traps and pits and things like that. I think there was like even like a little mine cart type thing, so you can add onto the board. Is a pit like with obviously like a raised bit you add to your board section here? Well, no, they're all like just pre-assembled like pieces. I think. So right. I mean, we're gonna go check it out. We'll chat about it again next week, I guess. But that's sort of Kickstarter. There's also another game I saw on there actually that I like the look of, which was it's called like the Tang Garden or something like that. It's like a Japanese inspired. Where you're designing like a garden in like some I saw that one. Japanese emperor's palace or something. That looks pretty cool. One another game that I keep looking at, but I'm just like, it's called Plucky Penguins. Plucky Penguins. Yeah, it's a little game where basically you're a bunch of penguins that are on a bit of ice. Right. And basically, you got to kick the other penguins off the block of ice to be the king penguin, and they actually release a little king penguin. That sounds pretty cool. That reminds me of the game. Have you ever played Hey, That's My Fish? No, I haven't played that. Oh man, we'll have to play that as well. Yeah. That's a really simple little penguin themed game. Hilarious. Yeah. But, also, actually, I backed this week the Kung Fu Panda. Oh yeah. Game. I can't remember the company makes it, but. The models are pretty sweet for that. Kung Fu Panda's cool. So. And it's like a real-time dice rolling game. Yeah. So you have to like... everyone takes their turn simultaneously. Okay. So rather than like, I'll go, like Imperial Assault that we just talked, I'll go, you activate, blah, blah, blah. In this, we all roll dice together, moving our stuff around, and you're doing it at the same time. All right. So, it seems interesting. I think you have a timer. So we'll activate at the same time. Yeah. I've never played a game like that, actually. Yeah, no, I haven't. But there's quite a few out there that's supposed to be quite good. Yeah. So, I might have to check them out. Yeah, definitely. That about wraps up our first ever episode. So, that was great fun. Good fun. It. Yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed our ramblings as well. And you come back to join us again. Yeah, definitely. And see you next time. Yeah.